Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I should see what's going on a lovely island of Fawnhollow today, on a very rainy island of Fawnhollow today, I must admit. Yeah, so what are we going to talk about today? That was an interesting question. Is it interesting position? Not position. Hold on. You know, when you pose something. What's that noun when you pose something? Is it interesting proposal, I guess? I'm not sure proposal is really the right word. Or what I want, but, you know, whatever. Yeah, what should we talk about today? What else can I talk about from this weekend arc? We talked about service stations, we talked about board game cafe. Hello, everyone. Let's see what it says. Right now in Fawnhallow at 6:07 PM on Thursday, November 10th, 2022. Sahara's visiting. We'll promptly ignore them because we have nothing to do with them, unfortunately. Well, actually, no, we might not ignore them. Sahara's one of a few NPCs we actually still talk to. Excuse me. Yeah, what else could I talk to you personally about, you know, one-on-one? You know, we'll have sit down. It's about time we've had this conversation because, you know, it's something that's been really on my mind this entire time. And that's, I don't know. I still haven't really thought of one. I mean, for some reason, one of the things that came to mind was soju. But it's sort of like, I don't know why I was going to talk about soju in particular. Oh, it's not why I would talk about soju. It's because we drank a lot of soju and that sort of thing. But I'm like, you know, let's keep it family friendly and that sort of thing. I don't tend to usually talk about alcohol. It's not about like kids don't understand like the concept of alcohol or anything. I'm not saying that you're a child if you're watching this video, but I do know there is some percentage of my audience does skew on the younger side. So I'm like, you know, don't need to set, you know, that sort of example before necessary. And it's not in the sense that it's like, you know, me talking about alcohol is going to make the kids be like, wow, amazing, I'm going to drink all the alcohol. Probably not, hopefully, but you know, there's a chance it might. But there's more, you know, like you should drink alcohol when you're an adult because you have a responsibility and you have the know-how, but you have an understanding of the consequences of drinking it in the first place, hopefully. You know, but that's neither here nor there. Let's not talk about that. I guess we could talk about taste tests because that's actually something we did do with the soju. So, you know, so I guess I have ended up talking about it sort of not subliminally but secretly anyway. It was actually like, because, you know, we do these meetups a few times. It was actually something we did last meetup where there was a new type of Coke. I can't remember, it was like Coke Cosmic or something. It had a really cool can, from what I recall. It was like a space themed is all I really recall, and we did like blind taste tests between seeing if we could distinguish between the Cosmic Coke and the regular Coke. And now you might be surprised to learn that there was about like, I can't remember, like 12 of us or something at that time, and every single person got it correct, including me. And you might be like, including you don't even drink Coke. And the answer is, Coca-Cola. And the answer is, yeah, I don't. I don't drink Coca-Cola, but the only times I ever, like, I basically never choose to have Coca-Cola if it's like a drink. The only time I would choose Coca-Cola is if there's literally only soft drinks, and by soft drinks I mean like fizzy drinks, sorry, as options for me, then I would be like, okay, I guess I'd have Coca-Cola if there was also like no Fanta, no Tango or something like that. Except that I do tend to prefer those more. Like I do not like soft drinks all that much. Like, even, you know, I said my piece about it. And mainly I don't like the carbonated side of it, but also, you know, the taste is not that appealing to me. They're sort of sweet. And I'm not going to say like artificial is necessarily a bad thing. There's a lot of artificial flavors out there which I taste fine and that sort of thing. It's just the fizzy drink one doesn't quite appeal to me, and yeah, no, I think mainly it's because of the gaseous nature of it. But yeah, even I could tell the difference, surprisingly, between the Coca-Cola and the Cosmic. Is it even called Cosmic Coke? Am I just making this up? Coke Cosmic Intergalactic, is that it? Starlight, space flavored. Was it this one? I don't remember if it was this one. Anyway, I kind of looked about like that one. I remember it being space themed, so it might have been literally space flavoured as well. And I honestly cannot tell you, and because I do not recall. But the thing is, yeah, even I could taste the difference, which is weird to say. Is because I could taste the difference because I was like, this tastes like something I've tried before, and this tastes like something I've not tried before. So I didn't really have much of a basis to stand on. So except for just something in my mind was like, I think I've had this one before. So I was just like, this one must be normal Coke, maybe? Turns out I got it right. So, you know, I wouldn't say it was a 50-50 guess. I'd say maybe it was like a 60-40 guess for me. But still, you know, the fact I got it right, you know, but the power of a human mind, I suppose, to do taste tests. And the blind taste tests are always really interesting as well, because there's another one, you know, on the topic of Coke. There's one where people have done like blind taste tests of Coke and Pepsi, and amusingly, apparently the results are some. Don't quote me on it because I didn't read the study. I don't actually know if this is true or not. So, you know, I might be parroting false information. But the result was something like on the first sip, like most people preferred Pepsi, but then on continuous sips, most people opted for Coke instead. So I guess the only sort of like conclusion I can draw from that is like Pepsi is sweet to taste the first time, you know, it sort of like triggers the endorphins to be released, but then it becomes too overwhelming if you had to drink a lot of it. So, you know, shrug. I don't really know what you take away from that. You might be a Pepsi fan, you might be a Coca-Cola fan, I'm a neither fan, you might be a both fan. So, you know, no matter who you are, I think you'd probably find that at least a mildly interesting result. At least I did. I was like, you know. If anything, it's kind of good that we have a different sort of overlap, is that we got different niches, you know. But yeah. Well, anyway, we did a blind taste test this time of soju flavours. Soju, if you don't know, is a South Korean alcoholic drink, 14%ish or something, which normally you take as like shots. They're very fruity, is what I'd say. They don't really taste like alcohol, which is why they're so dangerous. So if you do drink soju, please drink in moderation, and if you're underage, please don't drink. But yeah, it's a thing where we did blind taste tests, and soju always comes in like all these like wild and different fruity flavors, and we stopped off at like a Korean market because, you know, we picked up some soju because, you know, soju is a very like appealing drink to most people, and we did like a blind taste test. So I was like seven people doing a blind taste test, 6 people doing the actual blind taste test himself. I can't really recall off the top of my head, something like that. And we had lots of different flavors, and it's interesting because it's surprisingly difficult to get the actual flavor right. Not because my friends had bad taste buds, they would have very good taste buds. I got quite a lot of them, you know, are very into food and that sort of thing. So, but the thing is, the taste of a flavor doesn't always necessarily reflect what it would taste like in real life, you know, and some of the flavors were just absolutely insane as well. So some of them were like, okay, like I think there's one which was peach flavored, which most people got like right. It was the only one which a decent amount of people got right. But there's also some like sort of crazy, like not obscure flavors, but weird flavors, like the grape flavor. If you've never tried grape soda from like China, Japan, Korea, that sort of thing, because grape soda tastes very, very different to actual like grape juice as it does here in the West, in my opinion. Like, I would almost liken it to kind of like an aloe vera drink. It's sort of like it's got, I almost want to say soap-like sort of taste. It just tastes so artificial, but when you drink it, it's so unmistakably that fake grape flavour, you know? It's sort of like, isn't it like fake banana flavour? It's like a very distinct taste of some people, for some people as well. That's basically what grape flavored juice is for me, because, you know, you try grape flavored juice here, you know, I guess that's just kind of wine now I think about it, but you try grape flavored juice and you're like, okay, it kind of tastes like grapes, I suppose. But when you try it, like if you go to China, Japan and Korea, like I have done, so I didn't mean to make it sound so like braggadocious. Second time I did, first time not so much. I meant to make it sound very braggadocious. Sorry, I'm getting like all these conversations twisted. I had grape soda, and it's just such an unmistakable flavour that you don't forget. Well, maybe you do forget, but it's so like distinct, I think, is why it sort of sticks in your mind. But like when I tried it, I was like, that's unmistakably grape. But, you know, not all my friends have tried like, you know, Japanese grape soda or things like that. So it's actually me and my other friend, the friend who I went to Japan and South Korea, so he tried it as well. We're conducting the tests, I suppose. So, you know, I can't remember what people guessed about, but, you know, there were some, like, you know, people mainly were in the right sort of ballpark. You know, people were guessing fruits, or like fruits which is somewhat similar. Like one of them was like grapefruit, and people were like, is it lemon, is it lime, about something? That's pretty close, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, great. If you've never tried that flavour before, I don't think you would associate it with grape. Like, there's no way. I don't remember the first time I tried like a grape soda, that sort of thing. But there's no way I drank it and was like, yeah, that tastes like grape, because it doesn't taste anything like grape. I'm going to be honest. It's probably like the most. If it tastes like grape, it's like the most concentrated, most juiciest grape you've ever eaten. That's what it would taste like, which is just so like sort of. I mean, yeah, artificial, but like so like far removed from like what the actual standards of grape tasting is, that, you know, it's hard to really hold it to that sort of standard and be like, yeah, this is like what it should taste like or anything like that. If you get what I mean, it's sort of like, that's grape. But yeah, probably that wasn't even the hardest one. The hardest one, I think, was, and I'd imagine my friends would agree, was the one which weren't even fruit flavours. They were just, there's literally one called Original, which is basically just the base soju, I suppose, like before it's been diluted down by like a load of fruit juice, and it was actually like a lot high percentage. It was about 21%, which is quite high. If you don't know much about alcohol, then like 14% is around like a wine, like a red wine sort of level. 21%, I don't know. You're starting to get into some like liqueurs around that sort of level. So, you know, it's quite high, and it did not taste great, is what I'd say. So I certainly see why people like mix a lot of fruit juice in with it in the first place. But there was also one called Fresh. And you might be like, what does fresh mean? What is fresh flavour? Well, fresh flavour, I'll have you know, is water flavour. And you might be like, water flavour? And what I mean by that is basically it's a diluted version of the original. But it's a lot funnier to be like, this thing is water flavoured. Because then you're just like, what is water flavour? Like, water's pretty taste... Like, I'm not going to say water is tasteless, because water is not tasteless. Unless you have pure distilled water, then maybe it is tasteless. But most of the times you have water, it's filtered water, it's water from a tap. If the country, you know, has drinkable tap water, which the UK does, at least. And you taste like the minerals, and you taste a characteristic, I suppose, of an area the water runs through. That sounds so pompous, and I guess it kind of is. So, you know, I might as well sort of fully lean into that character. But yeah, water does have a flavour, right? You know, you drink it, you're like, you know, you can taste the minerals. And most of the time, I'm going to be honest, I don't really care what it tastes like. You know, if it tastes like water, if it quenches my thirst, that's the only important thing. So, you know, it doesn't really matter if it, you know, water tastes like a certain mineral or doesn't taste like a certain mineral, or fluoride content is higher on what. As long as it's... The only thing I really care about water is, one, is it like drinkable? I'm not going to die drinking it. I'm not going to be like ill or anything. And two, is it bearable to drink? Because, you know, I'm going to call you out, Iceland, right now. The rotten eggs, tap water, while it may be drinkable, well, I think it's drinkable, directly from the hot springs and all that stuff, I can't... Well, I can stand the smell of it, and I'm playing into a bit of like a facetious character here, so roll with me here. I can't stand the taste of it. It tastes like poison. It tastes like you know. Okay, you get a picture. Basically, it doesn't not taste particularly great, is what I'd say. But yeah, it was. I guess it wasn't really blind taste test per se, because they weren't blindfolded. Amusingly, we were blindfolded for the Coca-Cola one, but I think that's because there was a small visible difference between the Starlight Coca-Cola and the normal Coca-Cola. But, you know, soju all runs clear in the end, so, you know, who can really say? Who can say the wind blows? But yeah, anyway, I'm certainly more thankful I was on the administering side of a blind taste test, because my taste buds, as I say, are not amazing. Like, they're not particularly refined. I would say, you know, people will be like, ooh, taste a little bit of cinnamon in this. I'd be like, well, I certainly okay. How again, you know, I talk about taste all the time. You know, been called out on it. How my taste buds work is I can taste a thing, I just don't know what it is. I basically no association with what that flavour or that taste is. A lot of the time, as well as my taste being a little bit duller than usual, which is why, you know, I'm very, very good at eating spicy food for whatever reason. Not for whatever reason. I've had a lot of spicy food when I was younger, you know, especially in China and that sort of thing, and, you know, I just got kind of used to it. And also, you know, mildly duller taste buds means it makes it a lot more bearable to eat spicy food. But yeah, what else was I going to say about this? I don't really remember. What was I going to say about this? Oh no. By the way, at some point I should definitely talk about Bluey, because I haven't actually seen all the episodes now, and you might be like, what? You went and watched like all the episodes of a kids cartoon? Come on, like the kids cartoon episode about like 7 minutes long. It's nice, it's warm, it's cozy, and if you watch them on double speed, they're only 3 minutes long. So, but yeah, I'll save that conversation for another time. Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say. Taste tests. You might be like, which one of the ones was your favourite? I quite like strawberry taste, but I don't think strawberry was my favourite for some reason. Like, there's something about after drinking the strawberry one which made me like feel like my mouth felt a little bit drier, I suppose. It didn't feel thirst quenching. I don't remember what I said my favourite one was. Maybe I did say strawberry? I might be getting it mixed up with something else. I don't know, they're all pretty good. And if anything, I kind of regret the fact I didn't buy more soju. So yeah, I guess I ended up talking about soju anyway, despite the fact I said I wasn't going to. I guess I'll go back to like sort of blind taste tests. It's a thing before, actually, because one of my friends is like a connoisseur with Coca-Cola, where so he claims. He doesn't watch this video, so he's not going to be offended by that. So he claims is that he can distinguish the taste between Coca-Cola, Diet Coke, and Coke Zero. And honestly, I do believe him. But there was this one time, amusingly, in one of these meetups again, the first time we meet up, where they gave him a blind taste test. I think we're like at Nando's or something, and he claimed persistently that what he was drinking was like Coke Zero or something, and then like apparently, you know, the person who filled it up claimed it wasn't. I don't know the actual story. I don't know much about it because I was sitting at the other end of the table, so I didn't really see or hear much about that or what was going on. So who knows if that was legitimate or not. But, you know, I believe him. I believe him. If he drinks a lot of Coke, or has drunk a lot of Coke when he was younger, so, you know, it's a thing, you know, and it just kind of makes sense. The more you do something, the more sort of like familiar you are with it. Kind of reminds me of that scene in Knives Out. Spoilers on Knives Out, by the way, where the nurse was administering this medication to the old guy, and then just like she knew by the feel of viscosity alone which one was which, and you know that ends up playing an important part in the movie later, which I'm not going to say because it's kind of like big spoilers. It's like literally spoiling the entire twist, or not twist, I suppose, the entire linchpin of what the Knives Out story sort of relies on. By the way, Knives Out, really good movie. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed its directing, I suppose. And yeah, other parts of it as well. That makes it seem like it was a backhanded compliment to like the actors or something. No, I think they were all great. I just thought the directing was like an especially strong part of that movie. What else was I going to say? I don't know what I was going to say. I don't know. Oh, I don't know what I was going to say. That's what makes my day. Oh, a blind taste test. Okay. Have I ever done any other blind taste tests before? I probably have. I can't really think of like them off the top of my head. You know, I've never been approached in the street being like, "Hey, do you want to try a sample of this, like a blind taste test or whatever?" Not that I think I'd be a little bit too paranoid to actually trust that in the first place. It'd be like, "You want to put a blindfold on me and then hand me mysterious drinks, which I've not seen what you've done with them, and then you want me to try and like taste them and tell you which one's better?" And I'm like, no thanks. But you know, part of me is also like, I want to try it at least. But then also part of me is like, why do I want to try it? You know, it's such as a dichotomy of life, being like, I want to do X, Y, Z. Why would I want to do X, Y, Z? Maybe that's just me. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I must have done a blind taste test before or something. You know, it's just sort of something you do when you're bored, right? Whenever someone's quite a connoisseur in a certain food type, people, you know, very much like to be like, I don't believe you, let's have a test, that sort of thing. And I'm saying, you know, the way I said that sort of made it sound like it came from my own perspective and like my own experiences, which it most certainly did not, I must say. I don't think everyone's been like, hey dear darling, do you want to have a blind taste test or something? Because very much so, I would fail with sinking colours. I was just trying to think how that phrase would be inverted. But yeah, I don't really know what else I was going to say about that. To be honest. Yeah. You know, that's about it, I suppose. So I guess we'll round off this episode after I do sell these things to Timmy and Tommy, because otherwise we'll have a little bit too full of an inventory to really, do much of anything with, to be honest. But not sell the Lily of the Valleys. It's amazing how many Lily of the Valleys we've slowly accumulated over the years. Despite the fact I played for like 2 years now. Oh my god, we must be nearing. We're not nearing on 3 years. We're nearing. We're past 2.5. Yeah, we're way past 2.5. My word, I don't even know what I'm going to do for my 3rd year thumbnail. Like they're becoming bigger and bigger every time. I don't think. I'm just going to warn you now. I don't think my year 4 thumbnail is going to be bigger than my year 3 thumbnail or my year 2 thumbnail. I think it's just going to. Well, I think we're going to keep the pattern of basically D plus Fawnhollow residents doing some activity. Don't know what though. But anyway, I'm going to round off this episode here, and I'm also going to try and, you know, get through my ending like a normal person. But I'm going to round off this episode here. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've just noticed, look, there's like a little sort of vignette thing effect on the side. Look at the corners. You know, there's like a black sort of like frame following you, which I guess is meant to be because it's like kind of like dark and cloudy. It gives that effect. But anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Any likes, comments, description, shares are greatly appreciated. Join me, Dear Darling, Discord, follow me on Twitter down below. Hope you see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye bye for now.